Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for another WOW webinar. My name is Allison Hunter, and I am Director of Marketing here at WearAware. I am so excited to have our CEO, Eric Dean, with us today to share his insights into how the gift and home industry is changing and how B2B vendors can use technology to meet retailers' new sales expectations. Just a heads up that we will be emailing you the slides and the recording in the next day or so. And we also encourage you to tweet along with us using the hashtag WowWebinar. And with that, I'll let Eric tell you a little bit about himself.
Thanks, Allison, and thanks to everybody for joining us this morning, especially those on the West Coast. It's pretty early. Saw a few names that we recognized on the list, and I want to give a special thank you to our customers. We really appreciate you. As it says here, I have been doing this in the gift and home industry for about 25 years now, through a variety of jobs. I started as a salesperson for a home textiles company, going to America's Mart and the New York Gift Show. I then became a marketer for that same company, left and founded a gift industry vendor with a factory in Virginia, and then about 18 years ago was the co-founder of WearAware, a technology provider, and I've been an executive for WearAware ever since. So our building outside of Washington, D.C., we are a technology provider to the gift and home industry, and more than almost 2/3 of our clients are still within the gift and home furnishings industry. We build websites, do digital marketing, and we have a variety of sales and marketing software products that we provide. We're about 100 people, and the best thing that I love about my job is that we get to work and learn from all kinds of smart, innovative people and brands, many of whom are on the call today. And it makes our job easier because we get to collect ideas and make observations because we talk to a lot of smart folks. Here are some of those customers. It's been a real pleasure and an honor to work with these companies. Over the last 12 years, we've built over 200 e-commerce websites. We still have 100 of active of those under management. And collectively, those are generating over $250 million a year in online B2B sales in the gift and home industry. So there's a lot going on there that we get to see, and we get to sort of study those pieces and talk to our customers. And that's a lot of what we're going to talk about today. What are we seeing these days? And what can we learn from that, and how does that predict the future? So that's what we're here to talk about. It's about the changing landscape and business-to-business buying and how that affects our gift and home industry. And then we'll have some ideas on how to get ready for that future. So we're going to explore some of those thoughts. We're going to use the vehicle of a user journey, make-believe user journey of a rep and a retailer. And finally, we'll take a brief look at some of the solutions WearAware has created over the last couple of years to address the issues of today and tomorrow. So times have changed. When I started 25 years ago, vendors completely controlled the selling process. We determined when, how, where buyers got to see the products. And the options weren't many. Basically, it was sales reps, trade shows, and catalogs. It's different now, mostly because of the endless access to information and different buying channels that are available now due to the rise of technology. What that means, and it says here in the quote, is that the buyers are controlling the buying process more than vendors these days. Buyers are in control. They want it when they want it, how they want it, where they want it. Here's some research from the outside world that supports that, from Forrester, an internet retailer. 62% of the B2B buyers that they surveyed, now these is the wider industry. I'm not talking about the gift and home industry here, but 62% of the buyers say they can develop selection criteria based solely on digital content. A lot of things going on here. Sort of technology's become ubiquitous, both in how professionals use it in their personal life, also just as generations change and demographics change. I don't have it in this presentation, but one of my favorite slides is that the majority, the biggest demographic group for B2B buyers in the world are millennials. And what we're seeing is things that are much more natural to them than they were to previous generations, and we're seeing the impact of that. Here's omnichannel is one of those buzzwords that you hear a lot about, but what it talks about how buyer paths are changing, evolving. And this is the overall internet environment of what this slide represents, because we're looking at things in trillions of dollars. But what you can see, sort of the big picture here, that what this says is that if you take a look at the top two, the gray and the magenta slides, or rows, between 2014 and up to the prediction for 2020 is that it's flipped between online only and online influenced, has gone from 46% to 56%. And it's now actually a bigger chunk than the offline only sales. So that's the trend, and you see that the trend for online only continues to grow. It's grown 50% over the course of this time period. So many progressive companies are understanding that although online is growing, it's still not the preponderance of where the business is. You know, the massive business is still done offline. But what is really happening is the online world is influencing the offline world. And, you know, even the most ubiquitous internet companies are doing something about that. Amazon bought Whole Foods last year. A lot of talk about their Amazon Go stores, which they're testing in the wood. Warby Parker, Casper, two, you know, huge internet success stories, have made massive steps into brick and mortar retail just in the last couple of years. So when I look at this and I say, you know, yes, the ship is turning of commerce. It is moving more and more online or online influence, but it's a massive ship and it takes a long, long time to turn. So what this really says is that you've got to be good at the online world and you've got to be great at the offline world. So we see this as a significant opportunity for the independent retailers that we face, because we see some of the traditional big box retailers sort of stagnating. And, you know, for the independent retailer who's got a great formula of service and selection, to win back some share and to really sort of carve out that Main Street value proposition. And that's what we all want, because when the independent retailer wins, everybody on this call wins one way or another. Back into just B2B, and this is a look just at our industry. So this is a survey that we did and administered and went out to several thousand. We had several thousand responses of retailers around the industry. And if you look at this, it's sort of saying, what is your number one, your primary purchase method? And this is, you know, we tracked this over the last 3 years. And, you know, web has gone up 25%. It's the only channel that is growing. But I think the story is also that there's still large critical mass in the other two main. Sales reps, still the largest, and still, you know, holding on pretty strong. Trade shows, still incredibly important to our industry. What this says to me is that you've got three channels that all have critical mass and they all work together. So going forward, if you're going to be one of the winners in this industry, you have to do all three. I know that we look at customers and how customers are buying, and most customers are not buying from just one of these channels. They are buying from two, in many cases three. So you've got to be able to meet your customers where they are, give them a great experience. And that means, and what we're going to talk about today, is that you've got to give them a great experience on the web. They've got to have a good experience at the shows, and they've got to have a good experience when they're meeting with their reps. One of my favorite slides. So Gifts and Deck put out a survey earlier this year, and they surveyed their audience and said, of retailers ordering online, how many of you are decreasing your online sales over the next year? And the amount was 0. So 2/3 or 3/4 said that they're going to increase it. 1/4 said it's going to stay the same. 0 said it was going down. So don't need to talk any more about that. So what's this mean? If more of your retailers and B2B buyers in general are researching and buying online, what's this mean for the reps? So outside of gift and home, in the general business-to-business sales channel, we see go-to-market changing pretty dramatically. Forrester Research predicted in 2015, and then they validated this finding again in 2017, a forecast that out of 4 million business-to-business selling jobs, 1 million of those would be replaced by technology within 5 years. So that headline sounds pretty dire, but the detail from the Forrester report is really where you get more insight. So they broke down the B2B selling roles into a few, and they said lots of job loss coming at the lower value added areas. So someone who's an order taker, an explainer, a navigator, these are people who are from the very top to the bottom of this slide here, sort of lowest value added to more value added. If all you're doing is transcribing and typing into a system, your job is in definite danger. But there was a really curious finding that was sort of the sub-headline to the 1 million B2B sales jobs going away, and that was at the top, is that of a consultative role actually the need is increasing for these people. Go back, please. There you go. So it's 10% going up. Forrester described consultants as extensive knowledge of a buyer's company to help the buyer understand what her company needs to purchase. These are the difference makers who guide their customers, really helping them understand what, how to sort through the tons of information that's out there in the world. Others see the same thing, and buyers are craving this high-value interaction. Salesforce, a company that would know, said that 79% of the business buyers that they surveyed said it's very important to interact with a salesperson who is a trusted advisor, not just a sales rep, but a trusted advisor who adds value to their business. So what does this mean? If you're in the sales business, it means that you need to, sales management business, you need to find, train, equip, and inform these value-added sales reps to enable them to be truly consultative. This is where they add value to their customers at every single interaction. And here at We're Aware, we've been looking at this for a couple years. We're also huge believers in the sales rep channel, is that our job is to help equip and inform those consultative reps. We ask our selling partners to go find the best people and make sure they're highly trained, and we do worry about giving them the right information and the right equipment to help them do their job and be that consultative rep, the one that is in demand in the future, increasing demand in the future. So what's this mean for the customer and the evolving new customer in a new digital age? What do they want, and what do you need to deliver them to give them that satisfaction? Well, one thing that they don't want to do is be boxed into a single channel. As an industry, historically, we have at times siloed customers, and we call people a house account, or this is an online-only account. Our pretty extensive research and interactions with customers is that the retailers and the buyers, they don't want to be thought of that way, and they certainly don't think that way. They move back and forth between the channels, as we talked about earlier in that slide, is that, you say, well, you order online. Well, yeah, I don't just order online. I also saw you at the show in January, and your rep is in my shop in 2 weeks, but I needed to do a quick reorder. Well, they're expecting all of those interactions to be good. They want to have a good interaction at the show, in their store with the rep, and they want to have a great interaction when they go on your website, because they're moving back and forth. That's the new reality. So you need to give them a great experience in each channel, because they have lots of choices, and switching costs these days are relatively low. So how do you deliver on these expectations within? We'll start with self-service. That's the place, that's your website and the other digital interactions, the place where they can get information on their own. Back to that earlier Forrester slide of being able to gather selection criteria on their own. So what do they expect to find on your self-service website? What are their new expectations? On your website, they want a great experience and helpful content that helps them understand your products and your company. The site needs to be easy so they're not getting lost, and you can quickly find the items or information that they're seeking. Can't really overstate that enough. The nature of our business is that many of our clients and many of the companies have thousands of SKUs. If you're in the rep agency world, you have tens of thousands of SKUs. And helping your customers quickly sort through that information and find what they need is of vital importance. More business is lost because of navigation issues or difficulty in discovery than virtually any other piece. So it's one of the things that needs to be conquered. Once they find a product, they need the information, they need adequate information to make a buying decision. So that means quality imagery, inventory status, any kind of specs so they can visualize your products in use. If you have videos, those types of things, to be able to really help your buyers make that decision. They also want to hear, they do want to hear from their favorite brands, but the outreach must be timely. So it's personal and meaningful to them. So talking to them, whether this is email or text messaging, it's got to be a timely, so it's got to be at the right time. It's got to be personal for them. It's not a billboard or a broadcast that says the same thing to everybody, but it's personal to their specific needs. And it's got to be meaningful. It's got to be worth their time. All of you have so many emails in your inbox and so much information that's being tossed on you. You pay attention to what is compelling and meaningful to you. Your customers think the same way. And it's all of it's got to be simple and uncomplicated. On the sales rep side, what a retailer wants and a buyer wants is that they want that consultative rep. And we absolutely see the same thing that Forrester talked about in the larger business-to-business world, we absolutely see that in the gift and home industry. That consultative rep who provides real value are the ones who always outperform their peers and the ones who have the most treasured relationships with their buyers. So the rep needs to understand the buyer's business and the industry. They need to be knowledgeable, and most of all, they need to be pushing a customized list of products and recommendations for those retailers, not a one-size-fits-all of here's the products that we have, but hey, here's some real pieces that are going to make sense for your store and for your customer base. The retailers want the reps to keep them informed of industry trends and be that true partner. Lots of good reps are already doing this. And you know, sitting here, if you step back and thought about it, you know who they are. You can put names to them, names and faces to them. Our jobs as leaders is to make it easier for those guys to do their job better and to elevate more of the ones who are in the medium level of performance up to that level, make it easier to do. Above all, what the buyers want is they want a consistent experience every time they interact with your brand. So if you're on the website or working with your rep or even reaching out to a customer service, what a buyer wants is they want the interaction to be personal to their needs, and they want it to be helpful for them specifically. They're leaving a data trail, so whenever they're on their website, they're giving you clues of what they want. When they're on other channels, they're giving you clues of what's important to them, what's a good use of their time. And you need to be able to pick up and follow that trail. So the last interaction should inform the next interaction. You know, what they did at the show should inform the next time they visit your website, or it should inform the next time that they meet with a salesperson, regardless of where that occurs. And I know that's no easy. That's not an easy thing to do, is following that omni-channel trail, but we've been working on it for a while. So we have some thoughts on how you might pull that off. And this is the sort of first introduction to the Pharos Suite, which is a suite of software products that we've built over the last 2 years. So we built Pharos to solve these exact challenges in the gift and home space and deliver that 360-degree view of the customer. I'll go into each product later on in the webinar in some detail, and these are the products that arm the consultative sales rep, the marketer, and the executive, helping him or her interact and understand their customer better. So we look at the Pharos Suite as a digital foundation to enable companies that thrive in the digital-first world of 2020 and beyond. So what we find is that to better envision this, sometimes it's good to lead with images and stories. We're big on storytelling. We're big on personas. So we're going to take a sort of quick test drive with a make-believe user story that shows how a retailer experience can improve when a committed vendor equips and informs an enlightened consultative sales rep. So meet Michelle Z. She's a gift and home retailer, and she is preparing to buy spring inventory at America's Mart. She shops from Kate, who's a gift and home sales rep for Happy Gifts and Home, which is our make-believe vendor. So the process starts in December. Michelle gets an email from Happy Gifts encouraging her to book an appointment at America's Mart. Michelle clicks from the email, fills out a form on the website, which is built on the Pharos web platform, to set up her appointment. You can connect Pharos Web with any email service or marketing tool to deliver that more personalized experience. In this case, you can see that Michelle's appointment confirmation page shows her sales rep space, that's Kate, and the appointment time. Pharos Web is completely responsive, so whether Michelle is visiting from her laptop, her tablet, or her phone, she's going to have a great experience. And the smart recommendations, which are part of it, are enticing her to go just a little bit further past the appointment setting. So she's there, and our friend Michelle clicks on the table lamp. So the product detail page on Pharos Web, which you see here, is showing rich product detail like alternate images and video, related product, updated inventory status. The website user experience needs to be brand consistent and excellent. To achieve the need for rich product information and images is only, the need for rich product information and images is only going to grow in the future. So Happy Gifts better be able to quickly and repeatedly deliver this information to those who need it, which can be anybody from their own website to their salespeople to Amazon Marketplace. Basically, anybody who's trying to make an effective presentation in the hope of enticing someone to buy the table lamp. On the right-hand side of the screen, you get a behind-the-scenes peek of Pharos' PIM system, Product Information Management System, which we call Product Fastlane, and you get to see it in action. Product Fastlane here is giving Happy Gifts greater control over the product detail and imagery. And that gets it in front of Michelle to make sure that she gets that rich product experience, whether she looks at the lamp on the Happy Gifts website, or she is acting as a consumer and buying on Amazon, or she's seeing it in a catalog. Michelle likes the lamp and she adds it to her cart. Voila, the lamp's in his cart. She's also paged over to the personalized retailer portal that gives her a ton of other tools on Pharos Web to manage her business, like the ability to view past orders or invoices. But like many busy retailers, in the middle of the checkout process, she gets distracted and abandons her cart. One of the things that we see at WearAware, and this has been a trend for a long, long time, is well over 25% of business-to-business carts are abandoned. So this means that she gets interrupted, the cart's abandoned, the order's not fulfilled. This is a big issue in the B2B commerce space. So put that 25% against the $250 million sales number that I mentioned earlier, sort of an annual sales number they're going through these, just these websites, just the ones that we manage. And you can see how big an issue this is. You know, if 25% of your monthly sales of what you do on your website is potentially sitting out there in an empty cart, an abandoned cart. So that's a problem. What we say is make lemonade out of the lemons and don't look at it as a problem, but see it as an opportunity, because it really is an opportunity for those who can address it. But you must be aware of the problem if you're going to be able to address it. So let's switch gears and let's go over to Kate, and let's see how Happy Home and Gifts, personified by their salesperson Kate, is able to seize on the opportunity in Michelle's abandoned cart. So it's early January, the holidays are over, it's time for all of us to get back to work. So Kate's planning for her show and for her meeting with Michelle at America's Mart. Because her company, Happy Gifts, has a 360-degree view of the customer and the experience is linked, Kate goes to Pharos CRM and prepares for a meeting with Michelle by checking what Michelle has been up to. Kate's one of those consultative reps, so she's doing her homework, and she's within Pharos CRM, she's checking Michelle's recent orders and wish list so she can prepare a product mix that best suits Michelle's taste during their appointment at America's Mart. So here, what else has she ordered? What's on her wish list? All on one screen. After checking her recent orders and her wish list, Kate sees that Michelle has that abandoned cart open. She clicks inside and sees the exact table lamp that Michelle had considered buying before she got distracted. So that's a piece of information that Kate is now armed about Michelle's desires and what she preferences. Still within Pharos CRM and digging a little bit deeper just to make sure she's fully prepared for the meeting with Michelle, Kate navigates over to the Cases tab and scans the most recently created cases. She sees that Michelle recently filed a case for a broken item. No good salesperson wants to be ambushed by this, and they want to be prepared and proactive. So within CRM, she can immediately contact customer service within the tool, get details about how the broken issue was resolved. This way, she's prepared for the meetings. Nobody likes a surprise. Everybody can see what's going on with Michelle, the customer. It's a true 360-degree view made possible by the Pharos CRM tool. Time for the show. So that's Kate driving to America's Mart. And en route to Atlanta, Kate stops at Starbucks. She confirms her appointment with Michelle. She pulls out her trusty iPad, and she pulls up the Pharos Sales app, which is another tool within the Pharos suite. She looks at Michelle's profile to see if there's any other activity that's occurred in the last 24 hours. While there, she creates right from the Pharos Sales app, she creates a personalized PDF presentation of other recommended items and complementary products to the abandoned table lamp that she knows Michelle's interested. So she's going to hit Michelle with an interest in the table lamp during the meeting, but she wants to say, what are the other ones that are recommended based on that table lamp? She's using Pharos Create, which is a digital presentation tool, part of the Pharos suite. She's got this sitting on her iPad, she's ready for her meeting, but she can also, with a couple clicks, email this to Michelle ahead of the meeting, sort of a food for thought, or I wanted to get this on your mind before we met, type of things. Takes a couple clicks to get that information, share that type of highly, highly personalized outreach in very little time. Time for the appointment. Using the same Pharos Sales app, now on Kate's iPhone, Kate helps Michelle choose the perfect products for the show. The meeting's quick and painless. Kate's easily scanning products like ceramic mugs and Michelle likes as they walk around the showroom, and they're instantly added to the shopping cart in the Pharos sales app. The Wi-Fi is finicky, which is known to happen from time to time, but luckily Pharos sales app keeps working whether there's internet or not, so it has no impact on the meeting with Michelle. All Kate needs to do this, it's a low-cost option to get into, is either an existing iPhone or potentially even just a $200 new iPod. Pharos sales app uses the camera to capture the scanning and the orders, so no other hardware is required. So here's her cart. She's checking out. Look at it. You got an item on here that was in the abandoned cart. There's the lamp. There's one that was part of the PDF that was presented during the Starbucks stop en route to the show, and then another one that was scanned in the showroom. So Michelle's a happy customer. She's been served in a highly personalized and consistent manner. Following the order, which is bigger than it would have been because we actually knew what she did when she abandoned her cart. Recommendations told us what she was interested in or she might be interested in to help her sort through the many products, and then she had a very good, seamless shopping experience in the actual showroom. So this is the kind of brand impression that Happy Gifts wants. Michelle walks out of there saying, Happy Gifts and Kate, boy, they really have their act together. They know me. They care about what makes my success. After Kate checks out, there's a couple other features that are really nice. One is the ability to capture the information of the meeting activity, whether that's a sales summary or any of the other main pieces, and have that information stored. So with a couple clicks, a sales call, a sales report can be done, a call report can be done, whether this is on the road or in the showroom. So we want to streamline the sales and follow-up process to help reps focus their time on selling and not on paperwork. So selling is where the real value added is, not the process-oriented tasks, entering data, scheduling calls, researching leads. We want to make all that process simpler, and we want all that information that is captured. Not only is it easier for the salesperson to deliver that information, but we want it to get back to the Pharos CRM, to the company CRM, so that knowledge is shared, because that's the knowledge that's going to inform the next visits that's out there. Here's just a little blurb from HubSpot. Found that salespeople spend just 1/3 of their day actually talking to prospects. With these consultative reps, they're going to be hard to find, and then you've got to train them and equip them, is that you really want to get the most out of them. They need to spend their time, as much time as possible, with customers, which is where they deliver the biggest value both to their customer and to you as a company. So 2 months later, Michelle receives another email. It's time to restock. So we're managing the life cycle of the product. And this shows the product that she purchased in her last interaction with the company, along with new recommended and complementary products. She clicks to the website and cycle returns. Cycle continues. So with apologies to the Lion King, it's sort of a gift industry circle of life. Fueling that, we see another Pharos product here, Code Perfect. So this is the one that supports email. So Code Perfect was designed to help busy marketers build responsive on-brand emails in minutes instead of hours. And there's no need to use HTML code. So it's another example of removing complexities and hurdles from the sales and marketing process. We want the focus to be on delivering the best customer experience. And we know that marketers are overtaxed, and we want them to be able to do a highly professional job in a fraction of the time that it normally takes. So that was the intent. 12 months later, we delivered Code Perfect to deliver on that intent. So here's the journey. It absolutely was a multi-channel, omni-channel approach between Michelle and Kate. It started an email, then it went to the website, and then you had, in an in-person meeting, you had a very informed sales rep who not only was preparing for that call, but was using that knowledge in the call itself. So this is the omni-channel path we talked about earlier. This is the standard that we see when we look at the future. This is the standard of, this is the user experience and the standard of quality that we expect to be table stakes in the future going forward. You have to be connected and you have to be informed. And this is what we've been working at for the last couple of years. If you get it right, it works better for everybody. This quote at the top is an Accenture study finding from this year. Multi-channel customers are 15% more profitable than digital only and 25% more profitable than human only experiences. So in summary, with our little story here of Michelle and Kate, Happy Gifts our vendor, got a 360-degree customer view of all Michelle's activity and was able to put that view to use to actually serve her better and grow the sales. Sales, marketing, leadership, customer service could all proactively pick up her experience where it left off. We see it as an iterative. So Michelle's journey and her interactions with Happy Gifts throughout the course of the year, it goes across all these channels, but it's an iterative journey. So, the next step is informed by the previous step, and so on and so on and so on. But you have to make sure that the information does flow across the different pieces in order to connect the steps and make that possible. So Michelle has a more personal, compelling experience across all these channels. This deepens her relationships with both Kate and Happy Gifts and makes her a bigger or more satisfied customer that hopefully is increasing her share of business with Happy Home. So now it's time to meet Pharos. So this is what we've developed. I'm going to go into each one of these modules briefly on how we make this user story easier to become a reality for more gift and home companies. So in general, Pharos is built on our 18 years of experience, my 25 years of experience being in the industry, and our WhereAware's 18 years of experience in being a technology provider to the gift and home industry. All these pieces were really designed for this industry. There are competitive products out there that are much broader. A CRM, the first one on the left, Salesforce.com is a CRM. This is not Salesforce.com. It is a CRM that is built for the gift and home industry and for consumer product and for small, medium-sized consumer product businesses. All are connected, and they all share data with each other, which is what enables that story that I just went through, and makes each tool more powerful. They all talk to each other. They're easy to use, so anybody who's using them, realizing that most of the staffs of the companies we work with are relatively lean, is that we know that people need to use multiple tools. So it's a consistent interface. So if you know how to use one, you're well on the way to learning how to use another. And it's mix and match. You can buy just one tool, or you can buy the whole suite. And we built this and designed this to make this affordable and to make this accessible to a much broader part of the gift and home industry. So let's start with the product. You got to control your product data. Demand for good and rich data is going to grow for the foreseeable future. So how do you handle it? If your answer is Excel spreadsheets and your ERP system, then you are not ready for the digital future, and you're going to be losing opportunities as more and more people are demanding data and more buying decisions are being made on data and imagery. From the WhereAware perspective, after 18 years of handling data to build all these websites and these sales tools, we still see decent data exchange as one of the number 1 or 2 challenges to building a successful online business. It's something that the majority of companies struggle with in one form or another. So that's why we built Product Fastlane. It's a PIM system, Product Information Management System, designed for the smaller consumer product goods company. And it's designed to do just one thing. It's not Salesforce.com. It's not designed to do forecasting. It's not designed with all the little tabs you see in some of the big, more expensive CRM systems. It's designed to get control of your product data and share that data with the people who need it to make buying decisions, and to do all that in an automated way. One of the groups who needs that to make buying decisions are more and more your retailers, including those independent retailers. So Product Fastlane has a retailer portal that helps share the information with some of your key retailers. This is not just your big box or your key accounts, but some of those independent stores who are using this on their own website, or they're using it to more quickly get the products into their point of sale system so they can get it out on the floor and sell it faster. I will tell you that I got a real education from a very progressive retailer a couple years ago when we learned, you can picture here, Allison Anderson from A. Dotson's, and she sat us down with a couple of our key customers and made us go through her process to get information to her website and POS system. And it was eye-opening. It was a lot harder and a lot more expensive. So part of what we've done in Product Fastlane and made it easier for approved retailers to get the data, images, information they need to make it easier for them to work with you. And if you're easier to work with, it's just another competitive advantage for you, another reason for them to work with your company over the competition. So in this one, retailers can go in and identify the products that they've bought before and get the product information and images downloaded in one chunk as opposed to going through their current process of right-click and cut and paste, which is costly and time inefficient. Next product we talked a lot about earlier, or we showed a lot of it earlier, to talk about it now, is the Pharos CRM. This is all about knowing your customer. It's that 360-degree view, and then it's about sharing that knowledge. So Pharos CRM knows what's going on with a customer and knows whether there's an abandoned cart that's open or there's a broken shipment that just got reported. And CRM is designed to get this information to somebody who can do something with it and help that customer. That might be an email. It might be a trigger to your marketing automation customer that says, hey, there's an abandoned cart. Go close your cart. It might be an alert to either a field salesperson or an inside salesperson to say, let's follow up on this person. They've been very active recently and they just abandoned a cart. They're hot. We should talk to them now. Or maybe it's just a notice out to the rep of record. Say, be aware that there's a broken shipment. Before you walk in the door, know about it. It puts useful and actual information in the hands of whether it's a consultative sales force. Mostly it's the people who could do something with it. I just want to repeat, it's not Salesforce.com. You know, WhereAware uses Salesforce and it's a valuable tool for us, but it would be huge overkill in a transactional environment. So Pharos CRM is a simple, easy to use CRM that's priced right and has about, it has about 10% of the Salesforce features. But the key is that it's easy to use and it's the right 10% that you need to drive your business in a transactional environment. The Pharos Sales app, we looked at that during our little story. The key here is show it better and sell more. So if you're a consultative rep, you need the right equipment and the right information. And the Sales app, Pharos app, provides both. It's a lower cost iPad, iPhone, or iPad-based presentation tool, scanning tool, order capture tool, but it's got the brains of Pharos built into it. We say in the little blurb on here is that have the information, the knowledge of your marketing program, your CRM program, or your back office, bring that into the sales meeting. So no reps who considers themselves to be consultative should be caught without it. Pharos Sales app. Code Perfect. So effective target marketing, outbound communication is a key going forward. Email is still the main weapon here. A recent litmus study this year found that the ROI for email still remains the highest among the marketing channels. And their finding was for every $1 spent on email, there was a return of $38. And that's come a little bit back. I've been following this study, whether it's Litmus or the Direct Marketing Association, for a decade here, and it's been hovering around that $40 mark for a long, long time. So, but the key is you got to be able to do more and do it really well in a world where deliverability and mobile responsiveness is now vital. Code Perfect smooths the way for both of these requirements, deliverability and looking great on a mobile device, and it allows an overtaxed marketer to do more with less. So Code Perfect was built to enable marketers to build these professional, responsive emails in minutes and not hours, and to do so without knowledge, specific coding knowledge of HTML. At the center of the brand and the customer experience is typically a website. We saw web increasing as a buying channel. It's the only buying channel that's actually increasing, and we also saw that it's key to supporting the other channels of sales reps and trade shows. They all work together. But at the heart of your customer's interaction with your brand, it's on 24/7, and it's one thing that you actually have full control of that experience. And anything that happens here is being used to inform that next visit of the rep or the next email that goes out from your marketing team. Website brings in other elements. This is Pharos Create. So catalogs might be in decline in terms of catalog mailings, but a well-merchandised catalog still tells the story of a brand or still tells the story of assortment better than just about anything. Pictures are still worth 1,000 words. So if you put the time into it, and I still know the labor of love that is the catalog creation process for many, many, many vendors in the industry, and the time and cost that goes into it. Use it everywhere you can. You should go online. Fully shoppable, click on it, you can order, but you're able in one view to see the story, the brand perception that the company's trying to get across. So Create also works not just on the website, but it also can be fully embedded in all the sales tools, the Pharos Sales app and the sales tools. And at 11:40, that brings us to the end of our tour. Before we get to questions, I just want to say there's a lot here. We're prepared to demo these now. All these products are are ready to be shown. And we want to also invite you guys. We are taking a showroom in America's Mart. So on the 12th floor, room 1230B, during America's Mart, during the Atlanta Gift Show, we will be in a showroom with screens and computers and being able to show this. So we'd love to set an appointment, or you can just drop in. We'd love to show you what we have, hear your thoughts on what's important to your business, where you think the future's going. Back to the first thing I said was most of our ideas do not originate here at WearAware. They come from talking to a lot of smart people. So with that, Allison, and I don't know if we've got any questions that have come in, but can we
Yep.
see what we got?
Okay. So we don't have a ton of questions, but the first one comes from Joe. He says that you talked about self-service website and a sales rep, but what about the inside sales?
Okay, that's a good question. Thanks, Joe. And in the past, we've actually thought a lot about inside sales. You know, when we look at a lot of sales reps, you know, whether it's Forrester, a million of them are going away. Not all of them are going to be replaced by consultative reps. In some area, we are looking at there is a need for the cost of sales to decrease as margins continue to get squeezed, particularly on the supplier side. We see the rise of inside sales. It's hard for me to quantify how many conversations I've had in the last 12 months about inside sales. It's 2 to 3 times as many as I had in 12 months before that. So I know it's something on a lot of people's mind. We absolutely have inside sales in mind, and Pharos is designed to support that as well. One of the things that is not available in the first edition of CRM, but it is coming within the next, Dan, 6 months, is the ability from our CRM where an inside salesperson would use the CRM to understand what's going on with whoever they're on the phone with, all their past interactions, their history, their order history, is to have a catalog and be able to place ordering directly from that tool. Websites, realizing that the website is with a screen share is a great interactive tool to use with inside sales, building that in mind. Marketing automation, how do you prepare sort of an outbound seller on the telephone? You know, the role of marketing automation in preparing for that phone call or for the follow-up of that phone call. So inside sales, I think, has an increasing role in the gift and home industry that we'll see played out over the next few years. And certainly we are building Pharos with that in mind.
Okay, thank you. Our next question comes from Patrick. He wants to know what kind of management information can be produced with Pharos.
So the management information that comes here is the behavior. It's that 360-degree view. So on your customer, you're going to be able to look at sort of the history of what's going on with your abandoned carts. How many are out there? What is looking in with the case studies? What is the trend that's going on with case studies? So there's trend reporting that comes in. So a business analytic package, you know, we use Domo as one that we provide. All the activity of the salespeople that are going on, those reports that come through, I showed a screen of how easy it is to capture that call report. Being able to look at, you know, what products are being shown, what products are being sold, you know, what are some of the pieces that are being actually, you know, what's the conversion rate on those? Same on the website, you know, what is being, you know, what kind of products are being viewed and converted and what products are being viewed and not converted. That's kind of critical information that can get back in the hands of product developers. So customer performance, sales rep performance, website performance are the pieces that I'd point to.
Okay, thank you. Next, this one is about the PIM system. For the retailer piece, who controls what products the retailer sees?
Okay, yeah, I understand this is your product data and that it's critical and you need to be very careful. So built into the retailer portal is the ability for you to identify, you know, who can see these items. It's not open to just anybody. You have to give them permission to see the items that they bought. Okay, it's a permission-based system.
Okay, and then this one is actually about pricing and bundling. If you buy, and this comes from Mia, if you buy more than one tool, is there incentive pricing or bundles?
Yes, there are. As I mentioned earlier, the Pharos Suite is designed so that you can buy just one module. If you just need to solve one problem, if you've got everything licked, but you need help doing emails, then just buy Code Perfect. However, and each one of the modules is designed to provide a return on investment just by itself. But yes, there are efficiencies if you buy the bundling. They are designed to work together. We do think that 1 + 1 + 1 equals something more than 3. And so both from the value that they add, but we also do bundle pricing that to take advantage of the economies of scale and take advantage of the efficiencies that are there. So we do have bundle pricing that we'd be happy to talk about.
Okay, and this is actually also looped in the pricing. How is it priced? Is it upfront or monthly? And this comes from Will.
Okay, so this is a, thanks Will. The Pharos Suite is designed to be a subscription-based model. So we're trying to get away from a couple things. We're trying to get away from some of the larger upfront costs that are sometimes associated with technology. So you pay for it by the month. Sometimes there's a small implementation fee, but the main fee is by the month. And you know, it's also designed so that they pay for themselves, so that the monthly fee that you pay is far outweighed by the benefit you get for it. So it's a self-funding without having to come out of pocket for a very large capital expense.
Okay, so this isn't totally surprising considering our guest list, but the next question is about how does Pharos work with a WowCommerce website?
Okay, yeah, I saw some of our WowCommerce on there, customers on there. So all the Pharos pieces are also, not only do they work with the Pharos Suite, but they also work with our WowCommerce product, which is sort of our higher end, sort of more elaborate e-commerce product. So other than Pharos Web, which you wouldn't need, all the other pieces are also designed to interact. So Product Fastlane feeds the data. Code Perfect can work with the marketing automation system that we use. The CRM system can also be bolted on to a WowCommerce implementation. So all the pieces are also designed to work and are available to work with the WowCommerce environment as well as the Pharos environment.
Okay, great. And then this will be the last question. This is again about pricing. Paula wants to know if there's any show specials for Atlanta.
Great question. I think we would be breaking with 50 years of gift industry tradition if we did not offer some sort of show special. So we will put together some special bundles that will be available at the winter shows.
Okay. So that is going to be the close of our presentation. I just wanted to remind everyone that we will send out the recording. You'll get it in your email in the next day or so. And I just wanted to thank Eric for both for speaking today, and thank you everyone for listening and taking time out of your day to hear our presentation. Stay tuned for our next WOW webinar, and I hope you have a great day.